Hi. It's the last episode in the Threshold series, and I hope that this conversation has given you some language and some concepts for you to really reflect on transitions, perhaps past or transitions that you are currently navigating. And my hope is that the conversation has been helpful for you because there's so much that I don't know about transitions, but there is something that I do know, and that is that there comes a moment in every transition where you've processed, you've prayed, you've prepared, and now you have to live out your new reality, whatever it looks like. And I remember the first morning that I woke in Bali after moving there, and I opened my eyes, and all of my senses immediately became keenly aware that something significant had changed. There was the buzz of scooters up and down my street, the scent of incense hanging in the humid air, and the light-hearted conversation outside my front gate in a different language all reminded me that I was way outside of my comfort zone. Now, I'd been to Bali plenty of times for holidays, but this was different. Everything was different. Everything I was navigating felt like I was navigating it for the first time, going to the bank, connecting the electricity, grocery shopping. This was over 10 years ago. All of this all happened in another language, in another country. Every small action required courage. I had to get my big girl pants on. And yet, underneath the overwhelm, I truly sensed something deeper, a call to trust God, not with the whole path, but with the next step. Now, my name's Tracy. I'm a qualified counselor, leadership coach, and recovering control freak. In the Bible, women like Esther, Ruth, Mary weren't just caught in the tide of transition. They responded, not once, but consistently aligned with their new reality. Consistent, courageous action despite the discomfort. Their consistency became the bridge between what was and what could be. Esther stood before the king. Ruth walked into the unknown. Mary said yes to an angel. And their stories remind us transformation always involves movement, not once, but consistent movement. Psychologically, it's called integration, when what you know becomes how you live. It's not enough to realize something. It's not enough for you to realize, oh, I'm in transition. You actually have to embody it. And research confirms this. A 2022 study from the University of Southern California found that small, consistent behavioral shifts are more likely to result in long-term transformation than large one-off decisions, especially when they are, hear this, values aligned and reinforced by a supportive community. Neuroscience backs this too. Courage is built like a muscle is built. Every time you take a small step of aligned action, even when it's scary, you train your brain towards trust, not fear. And that's how transformation becomes sustainable. So let's pause here, and as we bring this series to a close, I want to leave you with just 3 simple steps, 3 simple next steps, a rhythm that you can return to anytime you're in transition. The first step is to ask, what is one small step? One small step that I can take today. It doesn't have to be dramatic. Sometimes obedience, surrender, transition looks like having a hard conversation. Sometimes it looks like applying for a course, making a phone call, researching a country, or writing an email. Sometimes it's resting, really, seriously. Sometimes it's resting, choosing to rest, trusting that God is working even when you are not striving. So the first step is ask. The second step is anchor. How do you stay grounded when everything feels uncertain without making random ad hoc decisions? Anchor yourself. Isaiah 30:21 says, whether you turn to the right or the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, this is the way, walk in it. So here's a practice. Pause and breathe. Like literally pause and breathe. When you feel shaky, uncertain, like what the heck is going on? I feel like everything in my world is starting to shift. Oh, maybe I'm in transition. So stop, pause, breathe. This helps your nervous system regulate, which allows you to stay connected to your prefrontal cortex, your good decision making part of your brain. And then listen. Ask God, God, what are you saying to me right now? And then whatever you sense, it might be a word, it might be a phrase, it might be a picture, an image. Write it down and then meditate on it. Speak it out loud. This is my way. This is the way that I'm going to walk. The third step is to act. It's just to take one small, faithful step. You don't need to know the whole path. Just walk in what you've heard with courage and with trust. Anchoring in truth isn't about having all the answers. Sometimes if you hear nothing, it could be just wait. Just stay still and know that I'm at work. Just trust me in this space of uncertainty. Anchoring's not about having all of the answers. It's about remembering that you are not alone on the journey. So whatever your step looks like, celebrate it. Not because it's perfect or that you've got all the answers, but because it's aligned. In transition, courage isn't loud, it's consistent. You're not just crossing a threshold, you're becoming someone new on the other side. So today, take that step, whatever that step is. And as you do, remember that God meets you in motion. As I've encouraged you, please download the Thresholds checklist if you haven't already. It's designed to guide you with clarity and with courage through every phase of a transition to help you understand where you are now and where you could be heading next. And perhaps leave a comment below in the comments. I'd love to know what's resonated with you. If you've got any questions, ask a question. Also subscribe to the channel. Check out our Instagram or Facebook platform and subscribe there. That's where we keep all of our platforms up to date with what's happening. Your courage, just remember your courage might be the encouragement that somebody else is waiting for. So till next time, it's bye for now.